This isn't greed, this is psychology. And this is what makes Hustle so much different to most games out there. Hustle isn't just a dice game, it's built on real behavioral science. Every time you roll the dice, your brain does a risk-reward calculation. But the physical act of rolling, that anticipation, it releases dopamine. Hustle uses something called variable ratio reinforcement, the same system behind gambling. Rewards are unpredictable, and your brain starts to believe that your next roll could be the one. And here's the twist. Dopamine doesn't spike when you win, it spikes before you roll. You're not chasing the outcome, you're chasing the probability. But here's where Hustle goes further than most games. You layer in social pressure, player interaction, and card-driven chaos. And you get this compounding psychological effect, where every decision feels bigger, riskier, and harder to walk away from. Then it starts stacking. You lose, that's loss aversion. Losing feels worse than winning feels good. So you take bigger risks. That's prospect theory. You almost hit a combo, that's the near-miss effect. You feel close, so you go again. Haven't hit in a while? Well, you think you're due. That's the gambler's fallacy. And then you hit big. Now you feel unstoppable. That's the hot hand bias. Well, at this point, you're no longer thinking logically. You've moved from a cold state, calm and rational, into a hot state, emotional and impulsive. And that's where Hustle lives. Win or lose, you escalate. That's risk compensation. And suddenly, even though it's just a game, feels like everything's on the line. So what is this big feeling? It's a collision between dopamine anticipation, random reward systems, social pressure, and cognitive biases that distort risk. Well, in other words, to put it simply, it's not greed. It's your brain being wired to chase uncertainty. That's Hustle. That's why Hustle is so different to most games out there. It really brings so many emotions to the table.